said to Cousin Jed, sitting on the porch, I won't retire, but I might retread. Seems like that guy singing this song's been doing it for a long time. Is there anything he knows that he ain't said? Sing a song for freedom, sing a song for love, sing a song for depressed angels falling from above. Grandpa held the paper, pretending he could see, but he couldn't read without his glasses on. How can all these people afford so many things? When I was young, people wore what they had on. Mama said, a little love and affection in everything you do will make the world a better place, with or without you. A little love and affection in everything you do, a better place, with or without you. Slamming down a late night shop, the hero and the artist compare. Goals and visions and afterthoughts for the 21st century. Mostly came up with nothing, so the truth was never learned, and the human race just kept rolling on. Rolling through the fighting, rolling through the religious wars, rolling down the temple walls, the church's exposed sores, rolling through the fighting, through religious wars, mostly came up with nothing. Grandpa, here's your glasses, you'll see much better now, said that young girl of Edith and Earl's. But Grandpa just went on staring, he was lost in some distant thought. Then he turned and said to that young girl, a little love and affection in everything you do will make the world a better place, with or without you. A little love and affection in everything you do, a better place, with or without you. Hey, how you doing? Justin here. Today we are checking out Fallen From Above by Neil Young. This might not be one of his biggest hits, but it's the first track on one of my personal favourite Neil Young albums, which is Greendale. Fantastic record. Definitely you should check it out. He's got a film that accompanies it as well. Just seems a little bit relevant right now, the way the world is. There's some important stuff going on here. If you listen to the whole album, it's kind of a concept story album. Yeah, like I said, you should definitely go and check it out. Really, really a cool thing. It's also a great adventure for kind of solo electric guitar. There, it's played with the Crazy Horse on the original recording, so it's drums and bass, but playing kind of acoustic guitar style on electric guitar is really interesting. It's mostly thumb and first finger doing kind of picking out notes and strumming. The way he's picking out the notes is very much the same as he would play on an acoustic guitar. So just to warn you in advance, you want to have a little bit of gain, but not too much. So you don't want it to be like a distorted sound, but there's distortion there. So if you really play it, it gets kind of crunchy. But if you strum softly with your fingers, you get a clean sound. That's kind of one of the key things in this style, is to be able to do this kind of Neil Young thing on electric guitar, is being able to be delicate enough to clean it up and then really dig in when you want it to be a little bit more crunchy. So it's just as a starting thing, that's an important thing to get a hold of. Let's get to a close-up, check out some of the chords. So the first chord you hear is this. Most of you recognize it as a C shape. Up 2 frets, so you get this really nice clash between that F sharp and the G. Okay, we'll talk about the embellishments and the picking, because the strumming is kind of the key thing here to get the embellishments cooking. But that's the first chord you hear. Then it goes back to a C, back to the D. Like I said, I'll talk about the picking and stuff a bit more in a sec. Back to the C, then it's to G. A real common thing in this song is this G chord, using your 3rd and 4th fingers, and then putting first finger down in the 1st fret of the 2nd string and 2nd finger down 2nd fret of the 4th string. And this really makes a C with a G bass, but you could also think of it as a G 6 sus 4. Doesn't really matter. Just think of it as a G variation. It's not really changing the harmony. It's still just G. It's with the embellishment. To the verses, Grandpa said to Cousin Jed, to C, sitting on the G. G, I won't retire but D, but I might retread to C. Back to G. Seems like this guy singing this song has been C chord for a long G. Is there G chord? He knows, but D, that he ain't said. Now I'm going to have to start explaining a little bit this rhythm, I think, because they're so intertwined, the chords and the strumming. So the first thing to get you is thumb is playing the bass note of the chord, then you get an up, down, up with the first finger. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4. Remember, you want it real nice and gentle, like if you're doing acoustic, you might be doing that, but on electric guitar it just doesn't work that well. So thumb, up, down, up with the first finger. Okay. I would practice that first of all quite a bit, just to get used to the feeling of that. Thumb, up, down, up, thumb. It's just my thumb and my first finger. Sometimes I think Neil uses other fingers as well for those upstrokes. 1 and 2 and 3. And there are definitely variations through it, but that's got to be your first step. Okay, so even the intro. Now you'll notice 1 and 2 and 3 and 4. And we end up with this 1 and 2. Because the 2 is down with the nail of the first finger, it makes an accent. So you get bass, up is soft, down is accent, and then soft again. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4. And again here, I'm just sticking with the same strumming pattern, but now adding my little finger down, 5th fret of the 2nd string on the D, back to C. Same thing, you can add little finger down. This happens lots in the song. Now there's this one that he does from the C, and it's thumb is going to play that note, the open G string, then first finger is going to play the note A, 2nd fret on the 3rd string, but that'll be picked with the 1st finger, so it's still going thumb, 1st finger, thumb, 1st finger, thumb, chord. Now we've changed. 1st finger is going to play this note here, the 4th fret of the 4th string 2nd finger, because it's this chord. Then bass note, played with the thumb, and then the chord. I don't know how he stumbled upon doing that. Sounds fantastic. So C, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. You can see there on the C, you've got all of these different things. Somebody didn't read their messages to not phone me while I'm filming, please. That's good. Should have put my phones on silent though, shouldn't I? That's the problem here. Let me just fix that. That one is on silent and it rang anyway. Excellent. Okay. So let's do it from the top again, now with the finger picking, and I'll just see if I can't kind of make it as obvious as I can. So 1, 2, 3, 4. Here's that little feel. Then to G. This is definitely where you want to quieten it down a bit. 2 and 3. I should point out this is down, down, up, and then the hammer. Bass, down, up, hammer, bass, up, down, up, and then it's off on that last up. 1, 2, and 3, and 4, and 1, 2, and 3, and 4. So it's just the one bass note. So I do put the bass note extra right with the hammer. So I'm doing a hammer on there and just a bass note there. And the verses, Grandpa said to Cousin Jed, C sitting on the G. I won't retire, but D chord, it might read to C. Now note sometimes you could use that other D chord if you want. Seems like this guy singing this song. G, of course, been C chording it for a long G. Is there anything he knows, D, that he ain't G, C? If I say the right one, it'll help. Chorus, G. Sing a song for C chord. G, sing a song for C. Back to G. Sing a song for C chord. Angel, stay there. C chord from the G. Then you're going to go back into an intro thing. No, on the original recording, it's really long and improvised, and all of the sections are just, I'm sure Neil's just cueing the band, and he'd just play a bit. As long as he's feeling it, he'd keep going. And then he's like, oh yeah, I'm on to the next bit. when it comes to that little riff, nice and quiet, don't go too heavy on it. And then G. Grandpa held the paper to C chord, pretending he could G. But G can't read with D, and you could use this D instead of the regular open D. I think it's the regular open D most of the time. Able to see so many G. When I was young, people decode what they had seen. In a G, little love and a C chord to G. In everything you see, G will make the world a C chord place. Stay there. C chord without G. D with this one. Love and affection in everything you do. Little love and affection with or without you. I just love this song. I don't know what it is exactly about this song that blows me out so much. It might be that this was watching Neil Young play this live on acoustic guitar at the Hammersmith Apollo for the tour to launch this album. Just completely blew me out. It was one of the most transcendent, what's the word I'm looking for? Transcendent, I think, musical experiences I'd ever had. I had a seat right at the back, but I was just completely mesmerized for the whole show. And it was just an incredible channeling of some power. And it's a kind of a concept album about important things, climate change and all of those kind of things that touched on, and corporations and greed and all of the, common Neil Young themes that I feel like are important, more important now than they've ever been. And yeah. Anyway, I'm going to go on a rant now about how disappointed I am that young musicians aren't protesting the way Neil and Bob and those guys did in the 60s and 70s against things. Everyone seems just too busy looking at their phones to give a poop about what's going on in the rest of the world. Anyway, I'm sorry, I'm digressing. The big deal for this song, the chords are really simple. The key thing is this trying to get the fingers working in a way that can pick out different notes from the chord. So I'm just going to do a little close-up. I'm just going to play a bit and show you a close-up of that thumb and first finger, just so you get that idea. But it's not, I haven't learned it exactly what's happening on the record there. I've learned enough that I feel like it's close enough to be able to teach it, but it should be made up a little bit, like trying to get the technique and then trying to find your own melodies within the song as you're playing that. So let's get to a close-up and have a quick look at that now. Consistency of this, down, up, down, up, down, up, down, up, down, I hope this is enough to get you going on this song. It is a real fun one to play, especially if you can jam it with a band, where you can really stretch out and improvise and explore, picking out those little lead lines within the chord, within the rhythm kind of context. Really, really fun skill. Good one to develop. A fun song to be having a go at that with. If you're a fan of the album already, I've got a lesson for Bandit, which is an amazing acoustic song with a drop C, if I remember right. Really interesting tuning, interesting chords, just lovely one to play it as well. And of course, loads and loads more Neil Young songs over on the website, because I'm a huge fan. So if you like a bit of Neil Young, do go and check that out. All of the big hits are done already, and some of the more obscure ones as well. Hope you have an absolutely fantastic day, and I'll see you for plenty more lessons very soon. You take care. Bye-bye.